Well, welcome to Circuit Breaker. This segment is designed to show you guys what we're like away from the circuit, what we enjoy doing away from the circuit. But as you can see, 2 days after the Adelaide 500, and you can now see what my life's going to be like away from the track. Benjamin Charles Barguana. He's an ace. He's so cute. I was nervous sitting on the grid at Bathurst last year, confronted with what was atrocious conditions in it, and turned out to be a great day. But it just was nothing like waiting to meet my child for the first time. Commodore. That's right. Commodore. Well, I reckon Ben's going to be ace because he's every time you talk about cars, he loves them. Right. Turn this up there, fold that one this way, you flip that over there, you fold that in half, you fold it in half again, and there you have it ready to go. Now for a newborn, yes! I couldn't believe it. I was just crying to see my baby born, and something I'll never forget. Big yawn.
How sweet. Beware, the Barguanas are spreading. Well, what an interesting start to the opening round. Craig Lowndes doing the business, and here's how they finished. Some interesting manoeuvres here. Paul Radisich, having qualified 15th, finished 7th. Brad Jones, a terrific performance up from 24th. Tony Longhurst, he qualified back in 31st. He finishes 12th. And Paul Glenn Seaton, who was in 4th position on the grid. Look at that, he's down in 17th. He was trapped by that safety car in the Paul Romano incident. But Craig Lowndes was the winner. Now here's Grant.
Well, Craig Lowndes, this phenomenal start to the year, it continues. Fantastic drive.
Thanks, Grant. Obviously, it wouldn't be able to do what I did there just then without the guys and the support of the Gibson guys. It's fantastic. It's probably the best way I drive. I could really thank the guys and their hard-earned effort. And, every outing we're getting stronger and stronger. The car's getting better, and, this is sort of what proves it.
Did you see the crowd out there as you crossed the start-finish line? Everybody was on their feet. You must have been able to hear it inside the car almost.
Well, yeah, I sort of saw the crowd. I was probably too focused on the guys. They're all over the wall. They're wrapped. Like, this is, as I said, the best way we, as a driver, can really appreciate and show our sort of, I guess, our best efforts is to go out and win races. And, the guys have done some fantastic work, and really this is what pays off.
Still, those pit stop strategies are so important, and the Gibson team never seemed to let you down there. Came in first. Was that a good strategy? Is that something that you can play each race?
Well, it's something we're playing around with. Obviously, I was stuck in traffic early on in the race, and Marcus passed me, and we let him go, and really couldn't do much about it. This circuit sort of doesn't lend itself too much because the cars are so competitive and so equal at the moment. But really, the pit stops were very, very important.
And how's the car for race 2?
Yeah, really good. At least it's all in one piece. It's still on the road, and looking really good. We got some tyres and obviously to play around with now and go out and do it again.
Thanks, Craig. Best of luck.
Thanks, Grant.
Thanks.
Well, the car's certainly in one piece, but we hear from down in the pit lane area that already they're making some very subtle changes to that car, so no rest for the wicked. There's an enormous crowd here at Eastern Creek enjoying some fabulous racing. Now, we talked before about the fact that Paul Radisich had done a tremendous job moving up from the 15th position on the grid to finish 7th in that race. He's with Barry Sheen.
Yeah, I'm here with Paul Radisich. Now, that was a good race, Paul.
It was, Barry. It was all about strategy and coming into the pit at the right time. And, the guys called a great stop and in and out, and 15th to 7th. Great to be 6th, but, 7th was good, but very pleased with that.
The car looks a bit of a handful.
Yeah, it is around here, and, I haven't got the balance right. I mean, it was the same last year, even though we won the race last year. I just can't quite get the balance here. I'm really fighting with it. So I think it's just the radius corners, and, we don't do a lot of testing on these radius corners, and today we haven't got it right.
I've got to talk about Adelaide. Now, Adelaide, that was, I think, some of the most spectacular footage I've ever seen.
Well, I've had a lot of emails, I must admit, after that, and some complimentary and others not. So but that's the way it goes. Hey, I was out there giving my best shot, and, we made the stop, and I was really struggling with fumes in the car, and I could feel myself getting tired again, and I was just pushing a little hard, tabbed the wall, and broke the rear suspension. And, it was my fault, but, I was giving it a go. I mean, if I dropped to 3rd, I would have dropped to 10th because everybody was behind, and I was just giving it, my best shot.
Well, you're a racer, aren't you? That's what the name of the game. Now, the thing with Scafie, a lot of people said to me, well, how comes Radisich didn't get, fine, penalised? What was your reading of it?
Well, it was a racing incident, and it's one of those things. I was behind Mark for around about 10 laps, and he was really holding me up, and he admitted later that he was holding me up, and I guess I misjudged it slightly, and I relied on Mark's professionalism to perhaps just move over and let me by. Yeah. We both misjudged. I tabbed him, and it was my fault. I hit him behind, but I think the the judges, they were actually going to black flag him or give him the pull-over flag anyway, and I guess they weighed it up and thought, well, you know, it was one of those things.
I think the thing is with the officialdom at the moment, it's consistently inconsistent, isn't it? That's the problem.
Well, it's a hard call either way. Some days it works for you and other days it doesn't, and, you know, from my point of view, maybe that was the right call, and from others it wasn't, but they've got to assess things on the day, and that's what they did, you know. Hey, it'll be my turn next time, you know.
Best luck in the next one.
Hey, thanks, Barry. Appreciate it.
Slice of the monster crowd at Eastern Creek for round 3 of the Shell Championship Series. We're getting set for race number 2. To look at them, tens of thousands, and the field is out on the starting line and away on their warm-up lap. Warming their tyres as they go around this 3.93 kilometre circuit, and here is how they will line up. And note, there have been some changes. Greg Murphy will start from pole from Mark Scaife, Jason Bright, John Bow, Paul Radisich, Brad Jones, Paul Morris and Paul Wheel.
Now you might have seen Craig Lowndes and Marcus Ambrose finish 1-2 in Heat 1. They've been moved down the order. We'll get to that just after this grid read. There's been some major controversy here at Eastern Creek this afternoon. 16.